D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I finished Batwoman season 3, episode 4. And man, what a stinker of an episode. This is probably the worst episode yet. Oh my goodness. It took forever. This episode sucked. I don't understand how this show is still going. I was talking to a friend about this show, and they brought up that, if this show does well, they can always order more episodes, because I think this season is only I think it's only 13 episodes long or 16 episodes long. It doesn't even matter. It's too many. I'll tell you that. It's already 4 episodes too long, in my opinion, as far as this season goes. And I tell you right now, I don't think it's going to get a 4th season, but watch, they'll do it just to mess with us, because this show sucks. And this episode sucked. It sucked hardcore. And we're going to get into it, but I don't understand how anybody can like this show. I really don't. I don't get it. The writing is so god awful and stuff doesn't make sense. And and I can get past like soap opera love stories, but when it's literally like a soap opera moment, it's ridiculous. Like, and I'll get into it when it happens, but let me just say, when you're talking out loud and nobody's there, it's like, man, we've gone into the what is the brave and the beautiful, or beautiful, bold and the beautiful, whatever. We've gone straight into that. So yeah, I just and I all right. Let's get into breaking down this crappy, this stinker of an episode, because man, was it bad. It was so bad. Oh my goodness. So it starts off with this woman wakes up and she's frozen, and she's got this guy with these heat lamps in front of her, and he's sitting there and he's all like, test subject number 42 or some crap like that. Oh, and he's got the canister, because remember last episode we had the Mr. Freeze stuff go on. So he's got the Mr. Freeze technology, whatever stuff. And I believe this is a woman. Maybe it's a man. I don't remember. It doesn't even matter. This person, we'll say this person, they're just sitting there like, what's going on? What's going on? And everything. Very Saw-like and everything. And so he's all like, test subject, yada, yada. And they're like, you can get up now and go. You're free to go. So this person gets up, but then their legs break, and then they fall over and they just shatter into pieces. He's like, test subject failure, client needs to know, or whatever. Well, we'll talk about who the client is and everything. And so then we go into the woods. Now remember, Mary was pulled into the bushes by these poison ivies. And so she's sitting here, and they're like moving, and she's sitting on this park bench, and then she wakes up and she's like, huh, what's going on? And she pulls out a thorn from her arm. And they're gonna screw up Poison Ivy. I'll tell you that. They're gonna screw it up. So then back in Gotham at Ryan Wilder's apartment that she, stole from Kate Kane, she opens up a box, and framed in it is an article, Gotham's 30 under 30. And it says what does it say right there? It says event will feature the first what does that say? Oh, public appearance of new Wayne Enterprises CEO, which drives me crazy that she's the CEO. Like, all of a sudden she's the CEO. This show is so dumb. So then she's sitting there and she's all like super happy about it, and she's all like, they just want to interview the new Wayne Enterprise most amazing, hottest CEO. Their words, not mine. I'm all like, you're not that amazing. I'm like, it was only like what, like 2 months ago you were living in your van and by the river. Like, what is going on here with this show? It's so stupid. Oh, I tell you what. So then he's all like, I don't know, he's sitting there talking to her about whatever nonsense, and I'm just like, yeah, that's what she's and everything. So she talks about how her brother set this all up. Marquise, is that his name? He set this up because he wants to, go in business, but he set this up to where she's going to go interview with these people, or she's going to go to this event, and he put her name on the list and all this stuff because he's trying to butter her up and everything. So she'll say yes. And he's talking about how there's a guy at Wayne Enterprises, which as soon as they meant the guy over at the PR department, I can't remember or whatever. We'll meet him in a minute. But I'm all like, wait a minute. That Wayne Enterprises building has people in it besides your empty floor with a tree in it. There's trees in the Wayne Enterprises building. There's trees in it. They got one in the back cave that's dead, and then there's one in her office that's just growing out of the friggin' ground. Oh, it's so stupid. Man, this show really does suck. They thought of everything. So I don't remember. Oh, and she's all like, I've been ghosting him. I have to ignore him. And he's like, are you gonna be able to ignore him at the thing? And she's like, feel that shoulder, feel my shoulder. And he puts it in, and she's like, see, it's cold as ice. I'm like, get out of here with these stupid. I don't know if this was supposed to be a joke, but it was so stupid. Nobody says that in real life. Like, can we please have some real world conversations in this show? Because this is not one of them. It's so stupid. So Mary comes in and she's like, can I tell you guys something? I have something to tell you. I think I spent the night on a park bench and I don't remember it. And they're all like, thinking maybe she's drunk or whatever. He leaves because he's still mad at her that she told that he has PTSD over being shot. Which, as I said in my last episode, I think that isn't that doctor-patient privilege, and she just, violated that. I mean, Mary's not a good doctor anyways. So she's done a lot on this show that is very not doctory. I just want to say that right now. And now she's got like her doctorate, and she's or her it's her MD. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so she's like, listen, and you know what gets me about this? Ryan, who's so gosh darn amazing, can't even listen to her friend for 5 minutes because she's just so busy being the CEO, of doing nothing. So she's all like, can I please talk to you? And she's like, yeah, I'm all ears, but can we walk and talk? Because I got to get ready for this event. And I'm all like, what? I'm like, what? Yeah, you're a bad friend. And then she's all like, all right, well, I guess, I'll write in a journal or something like that and everything. So then we go over to Arkham Asylum where Crazy Pants, we can't say the C word. This is bad. She wakes up and she's scratching her arm because and then she's talking to herself, which I guess is part of being crazy. Oh no, I said the C word. Scandal. So she's like, nanobots are running through my body. It's not, these are just visions and everything. And then this orderly comes in with mail. She's like, more letters from daddy. And he's like, are you going to open them? And I can't remember what else he says, but she breaks his neck and he falls on the floor. And then she's like, hey, I need help. And then this orderly comes in and she's like, does nothing look weird in here to you? And he's like, everything looks fine. And the floor is empty because she's seeing things. She just killed that dude and it's not real. So then at this event, the 30 under 30, the Gotham Expo Hotel, she shows up and she's getting her picture taken with this guy in the background. He's the PR guy for Wayne Enterprises, this gay dude. And then her brother shows up and he's like, give him that smile, show him who you are. And I'm all like, she is smiling, like what? So then the gay dude, what is his name? Oh, it doesn't even matter. He's all like, we need to get you a picture with Marquise Jet, because the Jets are a staple in Gotham. And I'm like, are they really though? Because not in the comics, I'll tell you that right now, because Joan Jett, whatever her name is, I can't remember. Doesn't even matter. She is not like huge in the comic books. I mean, yeah, she dated Bruce Wayne. I tell you right now, you know what's going to happen? I'm just going to say it right now. Bruce Wayne is her dad. I'll bet you he's her daddy. I'll bet you. Because in the comic books, Joan Jett, whatever her name is, I don't know. They had a relationship because she was a model and stuff and everything. So, but whatever. Anyway, so she's like, no, I do not want to. And then he pops up next to her and he's all like sitting there talking to her. And this guy takes a picture of him, which is so bad because she's all like, your mother is going to be so mad at us if she sees us together, kind of thing. So then, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So Sophie, who finally gets something to do in this episode, and it's so gosh darn stupid. Her sister, who is the leader of that community center from last season, that was they had that great story plot where they were releasing people. I don't know. It's so stupid. I can't remember all of it. So she's there to to give a speech, right? But you find out later she is going to unveil that there is a secret society in Gotham that is of rich people doing bad things. But she's all like, this is just 2 minutes for me to shine and get this money from these people for the community center. And she's all like, that's my baby sister, keeping the eye on the prize and everything. And which, by the way, they could have hired somebody that looked like her. Like these women don't even look this like they're related. So they're just sitting here, and she looks over and she sees Ryan Wilder. Oh, and she's thinking about scissoring. They are going to be tribbing any minute now. It's so, this season, they're just hooking everybody up because you got, these Sophie and Ryan are going to hook up. They're going to become a couple by the end of this season. And then Mary and what's-his-face are going to be a couple by the end of the season. Watch, they're going to get over their problems. So anyways, she's all like, you're keeping your eyes on the prize, sister, and everything. She's all like, you got a thing for her. And she's like, no, but I did have a dream about her. And I'm like, oh, get out of here with this stupid nonsense. This is why people don't watch this shit, because nobody cares. And then she goes on about how she's in bed with Ryan, she's in bed sick, but Ryan brings her soup, and she's like, what kind of soup? She's like, I don't know. I woke up, and she's like, and everything. She's like, but she brought a flower with her. And then she's like, the sister is like tarot reading her dream. Like, what? This is crap that people don't believe in. Like, in dream reading, what is that nonsense? It's not real. That's what it is. She's like, the flower in your dreams means that your subconscious is trying to tell you that you love her because it was red, and red is the color of love, and it was a rose, and a rose is from Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day roses are the most flowers sold, so you love her, like she loves you. And she brought you soup. What kind of soup was it? Was it chicken noodle? Because that means that she wants to take care of you, unless it was Campbell's, because then there's too much sodium in that. And that means that she wants to kill you with love. It's so stupid. See, so stupid. That made more sense than what she was talking about, what I just said. So then she gets it. Oh, so then Sophie leaves because she's got to go do whatever her she's got to go for a palm reading. And then she gets a text, or she's texting some the woman that died at the beginning, or dude, I don't know who it was. I couldn't tell. And then this guy approaches her, and he's all like, hi, are you ready for that interview? And she's like, yeah, let me just get my assistant or whatever. And he's like, no need. And he knocks her out and takes her away. Oh, don't worry, she's gonna be fine. You can't kill anybody on this show. So then Joan Jett here. What is her name? Joan Jett. I'm just gonna call her Joan Jett because I don't, although she's not as cool as Joan Jett. Joan Jett's freaking amazing. Love her. So she's on the internet, and what pops up right away is this picture of her daughter and her son together. And she gets, she's like, oh, they didn't. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You're telling me you don't want a CEO running into your kid who is like the COO or whatever he is of your company. You're telling me these two people who are in the industry, the same industry, are never going to run into each other at a black tie event or something like this? Get out of here, Joan Jett. So then she calls up that Vesper chick that's voiced by, what's her name on MSNBC? Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. The show is so like nonsense. I know. Why are you watching it then? It's hilarious. This is the funniest thing on TV. Why would I not watch this? She's like, I've got a scoop for you. I saw your ratings. They weren't very good. And in real life, her ratings suck on MSNBC. So this is speaking truth to power. So she's all like, I've got a story for you that's going to knock your ratings out of the park. Vesper. So she's happy. So then back at Clinic Delusional, Mary's become a florist because she came in contact with those ivy things. And I'm pretty sure her getting stuck in the arm was, something, poison ivy did to her. But she's all of a sudden become a plant lady, which is great. And she's sitting here talking to Alice. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Alice was able to get out of Arkham because she called Renee Montoya, who I don't think they're using correctly. And the Renee Montoya, if you ever read those comic books, Renee Montoya is a really good character that they are not utilizing in this show, and they're dumb for it. But Caroline Dries, she has no idea what she's doing. Nobody on the show knows what they're doing. Anyways, so they're sitting here, and she's pruning these is that basil? Anyways, so she's which we'll get to this later, but oh my goodness. So she's sitting there talking. I don't remember what they're talking about, but long story short, she's all like, just go do your own thing and all this stuff. And look at that. That's how I feel about the show. So back at the 30 under 30 event, she's doing interviews, and he's like, you're really knocking him out of the park and everything. And then so he comes up and he's all like, look, I bought a hat from the gift shop. And he's like, now no one will recognize me. And they'll be all like, who's that guy talking to her? Is he a man of mystery or some crap like that? And I'm all like, who wrote this? Who's writing this crap? Oh, it's so stupid. So stupid. Anyways, so then Sophie comes up and she's like, have you seen my sister? Because I can't find her in her phone. She's not answering her phone. Her phone's turned off and everything. And then this guy comes up and he's like, your next interview is ready. And he's like, is going to be ready in a minute. And he's all like, Marquise Jet and everything. And she's like, great. That's great to meet you, but I gotta find my sister. And then this guy is all like, we need to go to our next interview, like right now. And she's like, no, home girl comes first. My girl comes first. And I'm all like, if she's worried about her grown sister, leaving in a, like, not, it's like, whatever. Anyways, it needs to be there. So then back at the Batcave, oh, this was my favorite part of this episode. I laughed so hard at this part. It was so perfect. So perfect. So he's sitting here, he's activated everything, and then he's just like, Papa? So he starts talking to the helmet, right? The helmet is not talking back. And he's all like, oh. He's like, you don't think I'm good enough? You don't think he's like sitting there talking. He's like, you don't think I can handle this situation? And he's like yelling at this friggin' helmet. And he's like, my suit, my choice. And he's like, it's so stupid. I've lost all laughter from it because I watched it last night, but I've woken up and it's so dumb. But he's like sitting there having a beyond a bold and the beautiful moment where he's sitting there talking to an inanimate object, and then he's yelling at his dad, who's an AI in this robot. It's so stupid. And then he gets a call from Batwoman, and she's like, hey, she's like, can you get a lock on what's the sister's name? Bianca, who cares? Her phone. And so she's like, I gotta go find her. This guy comes up and he's like, hey, a friend told me they saw her on the cameras, and they went up to room 216. They go up there and she is frozen. Oh, that is the worst dummy I've ever seen. They're all dummies. So she's frozen. Oh no. Now, yeah, okay, we'll get into this in a minute. She's like, this is Mr. Freeze tech and everything. She's like, I thought you got it all. And she's like, somebody must have made some more and everything. So she's all like, I have to get her out. And she's like, you can't unfreeze her, because if you do, she'll start that rapid aging process. And I'm like, oh, please freeze her so there can be at least some kind of, good drama on this. Her losing her sister would be the best thing for her character, with the development and everything. And she's like, listen, you cannot, she's like, I'm going to move her. And she's like, you cannot de-thaw her. And I'm the best, because then they go back to the hospital and she's there. The best thing would be to leave her in that room where it was freezing cold, but they bring her here. And she's like, you have to help her. And she's all like, well, I don't really know unless I can get a sample of the original stuff, the original tech or whatnot and everything. And she's like, you need to help her and everything. Alice comes in and she's like, it's the Bee Gees. And she gets this whole stupid thing going. And Sophie's like, you can't make fetch happen, but it's not fetch. Fetch is cool. Bee Gees is not. I mean, the Bee Gees, anyways. So she's like, it's the Black Glove Society. Now, in the comic books, they're just called the Black Glove. Maybe they call the Black Hand. No, it's the Black Glove. And they are a group of rich people in Gotham that, you know, manipulate things kind of like the Court of Owls, but not like, I don't think they're as big. I think it's only like a handful of people, like 5, like a hand. But anyways, so, or a gloved hand. Anyways, so and then Mary doesn't believe her or whatnot. And she, what happened was the sister had downloaded some files onto her phone and she was going to expose them because they're secret. I told it as a secret. But she was going to expose them at that 30 under 30 thing. And so and she's like, I can help you. So then she starts to thaw and they're like, oh my gosh, she's thawing. And if she thaws, she'll start aging rapidly. And a small piece of me goes, I don't think that they understand how this works. Okay, so the Nora Freeze, she aged rapidly because she was under this cryogenic stasis thing for years. Like she was in that for so long. The sister here has been in it for what? An hour? 2 hours. Let's just say she's been in it for 5 hours. You're telling me that that's the equivalent of the Nora Freeze woman who was in it for years upon years. How long was she in it? It makes no sense. Like all of a sudden, if you've been in it, it doesn't matter if you've been in it for 10 years or 10 minutes, you're going to age to 140 in 2 days. It's like so stupid. So then back at the thing, they're telling her that what's going on, and then she runs into Marquise, and then what's his face? What is his character's name? Luke is all like, do you know where he was when all this went down? And she's all like, how do I know you didn't have part of this? How did you know? And he's all like, my friend works at the front desk and everything. And she's all like, and he's all like, you know, and what gets me is I like this actor. He's playing like a crappy character. Yeah, I like this character. I like this actor, but yeah. Anyways, he's like, I wouldn't do that or some crap like that. Who cares? So then on the news, this reporter, which it would have been better if they had the Vesper chick doing it, but they couldn't get Rachel Maddow. They probably couldn't get her, you know, for this episode. So it shows that their stock is falling. And then this guy comes up and he says, there's funds being taken out of Wayne Enterprises and put into offshore accounts. And they think that you're embezzling. And he's all like, you're probably going to get fired and kind of thing. And she's like, fine, I'll go get a box and I'll collect all my personals. And he's like, honey, in this situation, you don't get fired. You go to jail, which is so true. But she's already been there. She was wrongfully arrested, which is not true. I just want to say that right now. That's the problem with this show. They don't know their own shit, and they write horribly. Because if you remember correctly, she was framed with drugs. And then later on, you found out she took the drugs from her girlfriend to get rid of them. And then she started a fight with the cops and got arrested, and they found the drugs on her, and possession is 9/10 of the law, and she went to jail. That's how it works, dumb. Anyways, so she goes to the room to find some evidence to help out. So she's in there, and because they're just trying to find how they can help her or whatnot. And she's all like, there's heating lamps. And he's like, well, infrared should make the room like a sauna. So he finds the room where the first person died. And Batwoman goes in there. Now, I just want to say, this is halfway through the episode and Batwoman gets all dressed up. She's all dressed up as Batwoman. I'm just like, is this a budget thing? Maybe it was. They're trying to save on the budget so they can get some special effects going. So then she finds out that it was the assistant or whatever from the sister. And I don't know. So they go back to the sister's apartment. And they're looking for stuff. And, she sees this guy again. She starts hallucinating because she's crazy. And then she finds the paperwork for the Black Hand. And there's I think this is the Mr. Freeze stuff. And there they are. They're there. And he's like, give me the files. And she's like, ugh, here. And she's like, word of advice from a pro, get a document shredder. And so they start fighting with her. Sophie comes in and takes out like 2 or 3 of them. And then she gets knocked out. So then back at the clinic, Mary is trying to keep her cold with a little, what is that? And some ice packs. And I say this character sucks, so you should just let her die. And plus, not to mention, it would have been great for Sophie's character development. I mean, like, that's the problem with this show. They don't look for the good stuff to do to make the characters like more like better. Like if the sister would have died, Sophie could have gone through this whole like stage of grief, and writers love writing crap like that. Just look at WandaVision. They love it. And they could have explored that whole thing and give Sophie a reason to be there besides, just standing there looking pretty and boosting up Ryan Wilder. So then she's like sitting there. Luke calls her and he's like, did you figure it out yet? And she's like, no, I haven't figured it out yet. And he's like, why haven't you figured it out yet? And she's like, whoa, I wasn't condemning you when you were all like, not doing good in the field, pussy boy. Back in season 2, when I had to take out that assassin from the group on that island. What was their name? I don't remember. That assassin, and you like cowered like a little pussy boy because you're a pussy boy. And then she sees the plants and she's like, oh my goodness. Plants. And he's all like, is that a real thing? Do you think that'll work? And she's like, no, I just said it out loud to sound good. And we're going to get into that. So basically what she's doing is, so the sister is like a turkey and she's just throwing a little thyme on her. She's just stuffing her. That's all she needed was some sage. And it's so stupid. Like she's I'm just gonna rub this basil into the skin and it'll help out. It's so stupid. Okay, so then back at the apartment, they wake up and they're like, you smell that? It's gasoline. And fire starts, and it's coming towards them, and then it gets taken out by Batwoman, because she's got the Mr. Freeze tech. Now, I just want to say right now, you can't freeze fire. That's not how it works. The fire wouldn't freeze like that. It would just go out, okay? Because fire is not a solid object, dummies. That's not how it works. Science, okay? This is very minimal science, and that's not how it works. When you take a fire extinguisher and you point it at a fire, the fire doesn't freeze. It literally just goes out, okay? So this fire should have just gone out, not froze into fire ice flames, you big idiots. So then there is Batwoman. For the 2 minutes that she's on screen as Batwoman, and she's looking at her like, I saved you. We're so scissoring later. We're gonna trip so hard. So then back at the hospital, Mary saved her with the herbs and spices. Oh my God. She was literally just like a turkey. She just basted her and set her at 400. This is such a bad show. Oh my God. Who is writing this? How is anybody on this show going along with this nonsense? If I was an actor on this show, I'd be like, you guys, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Is this seriously what the episode is about and everything? So she's super happy her sister survived. So no character development for her. She just gets to spend the rest of this show propping up Ryan Wilder, who's not that great, I want to just say. So then these two are sitting here talking about who cares and they're talking about Alice. And I can't remember exactly what they're talking. They're talking about Alice in the sense that they need to send her back, but they need to get this stuff. Oh, I don't remember. It doesn't even matter. It really doesn't. Because then they end up deciding that Alice is going to stay with Sophie. because they're going to be roomies. Back at Wayne Enterprises, which apparently has plenty of people in it. This guy who's probably never been, there's that tree. There's that stupid tree. It's probably growing from the one from the Batcave, you know? So he's sitting there and he's all like, you haven't been CEO long enough to embezzle this much money. Oh, because they were, Bruce Wayne was siphoning it off to fund his Batman stuff. And he's all like, Batman or Bruce Wayne did a lot of stuff that he had to cover up. So this is all Bruce Wayne. They're blaming Bruce Wayne, of course. Blame Batman because he's not the coolest character in comics at all. I mean, come on. But he's all like, this still looks bad and our stock is still depleting. You need to quit. And he's all like, he's all like, as long as you're CEO, Wayne Enterprises can't succeed because we're just going to keep, you know, our stock is going to keep plummeting and sooner or later this won't be a company. And he's all like, I can't lose this place. And she's like, I can't lose this place either. This is my money train. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford all this good stuff without Wayne Enterprises. But she could if she went after Joan Jett and her. I'm telling you right now, that's my theory that Bruce Wayne is daddy. He's Daddy Warbucks or Starbucks or whatever that character's name is. And I don't remember what they talk about here. It doesn't even freaking matter. So he turns on the failsafe and Daddy comes back online. It's like, Dad, I've missed you. He's like, long story short, he's like, Dad, are you going to go away if I don't turn on this thing? And he's all like, you're just here to protect me. And I'm all like, are you seriously talking to this fucking helmet? Like, come on. This is so stupid. Oh, this show is dumb. He's like, I'm really not okay from being shot. And I'm like, yeah, you're not okay from being shot. Explore that in a non-stupid way. Okay, let's get past this because I just took it. So then back at the holdup, she meets her brother. Oh, that's what they were going to do. They were going to, what they were talking about, they were going to get him on board because he knows his mom's tactics because she's trying to take over Wayne Enterprises. It's a takeover. And this has opened them up for a takeover. And she's long story short, she's all like, you ready to come and work at Wayne Enterprises so we can take down Joan Jett? So then back at Jetflex, I don't remember what this company's called. She meets with this guy. This is the boss lady that wants the special serum. Yeah, I'll give her the special serum. So this is a thing that they pretty much say you can knock somebody out, like freeze them in time and wake them up whenever you're ready and everything will be okay. Like they won't age rapidly. And they're like, how did you get this? How did you figure it out? And he's all like, we took the rest of it from another crew. I'm assuming that she hired more than one person. And she's all like, he's like, don't ask us about her methods. Okay. She's like, okay, I like what you do. And she's like, he's like, you know who you're going to freeze? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to freeze Marquise Jett. That's his name, right? Marquise. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nobody in this show matters. And then look at that face. She's all like, yeah, I've got a good solid plan. I'm a smart lady. Yeah. Us ladies are killing it. Sometimes literally. Just like they're killing this show. So yeah, that's how it ends. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. So this is my thing about this episode and this show altogether. So I started watching, this season and like I told you, for two reasons. One was because it literally is the funniest thing on TV right now. Like, name a show, Rick and Morty isn't this funny. And the second thing is so season 2, I didn't like season 1 and season 2 was a big nightmare. But I was like, you know what? And I've said this before. I was like, you know what? Maybe season 2, they had some troubles because they had to deal with recasting. They had to come up with a new, plan because they probably had a plan. If they didn't, they're dumb, but they probably had a plan in line, before, Ruby Rose got fired. And then they probably, had to scratch that and come up with something really quickly. And then they had to deal with COVID, because they had restrictions, they had to finish filming, all that stuff. And I get all of that. I really do. And I kind of don't fault them for it, but at the same time, I kind of fault them for it. And then, but then I was all like, okay, so season 2 sucked. I'll give them a pass. Okay. And maybe season 3, they'll turn it around and do something good. And man, was I wrong. This has been a real stinker of a season so far. This episode sucked, and their ratings are reflecting it. Their ratings are not better than last season. They're god awful, and they can't even get 500,000 people to watch this show. They can't get 500,000 people to watch this show. That, my friends, is bad. And what gets me is I don't understand why the CW greenlit this. Well, like they greenlit this for season 3 before season 2 was even done or aired, I believe. And I don't understand why. Well, I do know why. It's because you have a black LGBT woman as your lead. You can't cancel the show. That makes you look bad. So they're like, we have to go with a season 3. But they, like I said, they've diminished it down to like 13, 16 episodes. And thank goodness, because I don't know how much more of this I can handle. But yeah. So the show sucks. It sucks. It's horrible. It's horrible. If you think the show is good, I mean, I don't know how to say to you. I just don't know. I'm sorry that you guys like it, but what other shows are you watching if you like this show? I don't understand. I don't get it. I just don't get it. All right, that's it. I'm just going to be done with that because I'm just ranting now. Listen, you guys, if you like this episode, tell me why you like this episode. I don't get it, but whatever. And go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind if you my channel. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week. Same Batwoman time, same Batwoman place. You guys have a good week. Bye.